Hi everyone, welcome back. It's still freezing here and there's still loads of snow, so I'm in my nice warm garage with my heater keeping my toes warm. So I'm just going to continue where I left off last time, which is improving this subframe and getting all the stuff refurbed and all the bits I want to upgrade upgraded. So what I'm going to do first is just get this radius arm off. I probably could do it when I was here, just get all this wired down and painted, but I want all these bolts off anyway so that I can get them copper greased. So, and also I need to change the flexi hose in here for the Goodridge braided, so yeah, it makes sense to take it off. And fingers crossed, these shouldn't be rusted, so it should come off in sheared bolts. Nah. So yeah, luckily it's on here so it'll not droop too much, but it's the same as what you seen in the last video to get it off. Basically what I need to do is I'm going to first disconnect the brake pipe and then the flexi hose from here, and then I'm going to disconnect the bracket with the 1/2 inch bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll keep the bracket on because the bracket doesn't need to be removed. We'll get this bolt undone here and it should just pop out. We'll need to be careful when we're taking out that the high-low, they call it a trumpet but it's not a trumpet, the part for the high-low doesn't fall out. So I'll stick it on a tripod, get you some tunes, and we'll get this arm off. So that should be all the bolts out. The only thing holding this in place at the moment is gravity and the cable tie, and this will be playing its part as well. But so let's get this thing wriggled out. So they're not the lightest of things, these. But as you can see, that's that out. And it gives us a good access into here to get all this crap cleaned out, and same as before, just sanded and painted, getting it to the standard I want it to be. You've probably seen from the video there that the trumpet bit fell out as well, because it's obviously attached to the arm by the nylon cup. So now I've got this on the bench turned the other way around. This is why I wanted to take it off, because you can see in here all the paint is flaked and it's starting to rust on the surface. So all of this will need sanded and treated and repainted. But if you look at the washer on the shaft and the rubber, it's all cracked as well. You know, I'll need to get some more of that. That's just purely with sitting on age and just what rubber does over time. So it does indicate it's been sitting there for a long time for it to go like that. But where would be the fun if it was just a case of putting it back on? Right, this flexi hose is to come off the radius arm, so to be replaced anyway, so I may as well change it while so I may as well change it before it basically gets painted. Just means it's a bit easier to get into. There you go, the pipes we can see there. Then the flexi hose is just attached by this bolt here, and it just lifts from the bracket. There we go, bolt. Shape-proof washer. And that's how you remove the flexi hose. Simple. So I hummed and hawed about the next bit. I didn't know whether to keep the drive flange on or whether to take it off and have a look at the bearings, and I was like, it's new, should it be okay? But I've got it off while I look, so yep, I'm doing it properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off. So I'm just going to basically undo the split pin, take off the castellated nut, and hopefully get it off fairly easy, because I want to have a look in the inside here just in case it needs painting it up a bit more. But I'm keen on taking the back plate off just to get into these bolts here to get them copper greased up. And to do that, I need to get into the bolts in here. There's 3 of them, and I need past this for that. So yep, all makes sense. So yeah, let's get this all done, taken off. Ooh, nearly. I'm guessing that wasn't tucked up because it wasn't too bad. And again, there's another lesson, don't just assume it's ready to go in the car. get this washer out first, it may make it a bit easier. There you go, see what comes off first is the big washer and the bearing. And this is where we find out if it's Timken or if it's just the cheapy ones. Well, they've got plenty of grease on them anyway. I'm just looking at markings on the side. Yeah, they're definitely not Timken. So just by wiggling it to this side, frees off from the central shaft of the radius arm. And then hopefully it'll lift up. Like that. I'll clean up this grease and I'll have a look in a minute at this drive flange, and that maybe get another coat of paint, but in terms of the inside it's spot on. Right, so I was initially just going to take these three bolts off and lift the back plate off, but this one's a bit tight in here to get under, and I don't want to just bend springs and stuff, so the most obvious solution is just to take the brake shoes and the springs off, which is no big hassle. You can take the springs off if you wanted separately, just by prising them back, but you know what, this is just as easy. as loads of you shouted out there, no it's not, it's easier doing it the other way. Ah well, each to their own. This is the easy bit, getting it on, getting it off. It's getting the damn thing back on, that's the problem. But when I'm not replacing parts, keep it like that, and it's basically set it somewhere and it's easy, it just goes straight back on like that. Right, back plate off, I'm going to undo these three. I'm going to leave the brake cylinder and the adjuster nut on the back plate, no need to take it off. But once I have loosened these and turned it over, I just need to be careful when I take it off that the brake pipe isn't fouling on anything, which it doesn't look like it is, to be honest. Right, so we're down to the last screw here. I had to get a spanner on the back to stop the rear bolt turning when I was turning this. But you can see once that comes off, pops through. If I can turn it over for you, there's a shield, a bracket on the back, which is just falling out, which basically sits over there and there, and all that does is protect the brake pipe here. And the plate is then free to just lift off. So there you have it, there's the back plate removed. Doesn't need done anything, doesn't need paint or anything, it's in good condition, just maybe a clean up. So we'll set that to the side, somewhere clean. So you can see the shape of the end there, it's like an iron, the bottom of an iron. So you can see that's the same shape, so it only does fit on one way there. Like so. Right, so just a wee tip, it might help. Helps me certainly. I just put the bolts back in here and attach them to the nuts on the other side, and also the bracket there. And I also just put some black tape around here to stop the adjuster bits falling out. Just means I can put it to the side, then I know where every bit is when it goes back, and it goes straight back on after it's been cleaned. So I thought if it helps me, it'll hopefully help somebody out there. Right, I was going to leave the bracket on, but I've changed my mind. It's all, you can see from there, it's all cracked and corroded, the bracket, so I'm just going to take this off, get the bracket cleaned and painted separately, and it means I've stripped the whole radius arm from fully built up to bare minimum, and then I'm going to build it back up, so I suppose it's good for you guys to see as well. So what have we got? It was a 19mm on this. My socket will fit in if you want, though you can take the bleed nipple on the end off, that'll get you more room on it. And I've just used a wheel choke to try and take some of the weight on it. So it stops the bracket turning basically. So bolt. Actually got a bit of damage, the bottom of the bolt. You can see the bit sticking out there. Spring washer. And the bracket should just lift off at that. It's fairly crusty, so I'm glad I did take this off. It just shows you think something looks good and then the little tiny hidden bit, and there you go. Plus I needed to get into this other dust washer here. There we go. Because not as cracked as the other side, but you can still see a few cracks. I've ordered these dust caps, they were £2.50 for two, so you know, pennies. Right, that's that stripped. I just now need to go over this with the wire wheel, get all the rust off and get it painted. So, as I've done before, I'm not going to show you me going over it, but here is the before shot, the after shot. Right, to be able to get into paint all of this, well, I need to sand it down and give it a key first and then clean it a bit to paint it. I also need to get the rear trunnion off, the one that goes to the heel board. So hopefully this won't give me as much hassle as the one of the old subframe. I'll clean up the bolt here, get this loosened off. I'll see if it'll loosen off without this turning, but I believe this probably will turn. And then we'll get this trunnion cleaned up, and then we can look at getting it painted, getting the new bushes on, getting the subframe painted, on this side at least, and then getting it all back in place. You'd think I'd done that before. So, yep, the pin's in quite good condition. I have got a new set of pins there, so I'll see which one I prefer to go back on. But what I just need to do is get the trunnion and the bushes off this pin and get this trunnion wire brushed down and painted. So this bush was pretty stuck, so what I done was just cutting the inside of here, cut this away. Pull the trunnion out. This isn't in as bad a condition as the other trunnions, but it's still getting rubbed down and cleaned. Now these new are over £30 for a genuine heritage part. That is absolutely crazy, £30 for that. When you think of what other parts you can buy for £30, it's, you know, it's can't believe it. So then this just leaves this. Need to just basically get the vice grips on it, twist it and get it off. Just going to get this sanded, painted, hung up to dry, and I'm also going to get this area in here wiped down with just 800 wet and dry just to give it a key, give it a clean, and I'm going to also paint just all of this section, and then that means I can just leave it to dry before I start the reassembly process, which is the exact same as what I've just taken off. So yeah, but like I says, I'll take you along the way. There we go, first coat for the trunnion, and I've sanded this down just enough to give it a key. Effectively meaning that what's on here is going to be used as a primer, and I'm going to put fairly thick coats of black gloss on it. At the moment, like I said earlier on, there will be stone chip going on it as well because this thing needs protected. There we go. So this is before. And afterwards. It's just the first coat. It's so much thicker than what was already on there. And I've made sure I've got into every little bit. Even underneath. And when it dries, I'll get a better idea if I've got other bits I need to do. But I'm going to work on this side, get it to where I want it to, get all the parts ready to go back on, put all the parts back on, and then I'm going to do the same on the other side. You guys won't have to watch that because it's the same on the other side as it is for this, but I'm keeping you with me for this side. If you want to, you can always just switch off. So yeah, I've refurbed quite a few parts, or at least I should say I've painted quite a few parts, so I've got a lot of stuff to leave to dry. So I've got this, I've got the radius arm, the trunnion, the bracket for the radius arm. I think what I'll do with this is give it a clean up, give it a quick quick rub and a touch up with paint, because I've got silver paint there, and if I'm doing the rest I may as well do this. So here we go, I'll do the before shot here. And after. So it took about 15-20 minutes, but it's worth it because I want it to be perfect. You know that, so yep, I'll take the time it needs, there's no rush to get it done. So yeah, that's all my stuff drying. Come in! Right guys, well, like I say, we'll end it there. I really enjoyed doing this actually. It's a lot easier than working with the last subframe, as you'd imagine, because it's not got rust on the inner bolts. But it makes things so much easier. There has been surface rust, which you've seen, but no, it's been really, really enjoyable. I love bringing things back to life, and I'm feeling really satisfied. I'm also feeling really tired and really hungry, that's why I'm finishing there. Plus, everything's drying, so there's not an awful lot more I can do. I've got wet paint, and if I clean other stuff, the dust will land on the wet paint, and yeah, on and on. So, as always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!